Do you think sales is a bad word? When you hear the word sales, I wonder what images come to mind. Whatever your relationship is with selling, I'm glad you're here. Let's have a conversation about how to sell like a good human. Hi, welcome to Conversations with Good Humans. I'm your host, Catherine Brown, and I'm author of the book called How Good Humans Sell. We're continuing in the B.E.A.R model. Remember that B is for beliefs, E is emotions, A is action, and R is for results. That's a model of human behavior that teaches us how people will often act and get the results from their actions coming out of whatever they believe is true. I've been talking about the B.E.A.R model for the Tuesday tips portion of my podcast for a little while now. And now we're moving into the A for action. The word action is from the Latin actio, which is meaning to do. So we're about to move into what do I need to do to sell? A lot of people who take sales training, they want to show up and have me say this, don't say this. Here's how you qualify. Here's how you get a discovery meeting. Here's how you have a strong call to action. Here's how you negotiate. People want things like that. And I do teach those things. Those things are important. But before we move into some of those specific suggestions, I want to talk about a foundational principle in selling that I think is not talked about often enough. And like I said, I share many other tips that I'll eventually get to, but we have to build our house on a strong foundation. And this strong foundation first is beliefs. It's asking yourself what you're believing is true about today, about the current state of your sales pipeline, about the work you're about to do, right? You want to slow down. You want to take a breath. You want to notice how you're feeling. Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling excited about the call? Are you ready to do your revenue generating activities, or you feel dread about them? Sort of take your temperature check and notice how you're feeling. We want to be in a good state of mind when we're doing that sales work. And this reminds me of one of our Tuesday tips from a prior episode where I talked about priming. If you need a list of suggestions because really you know that you're worried about being perceived as too pushy or too intrusive, or you have some negative associations with selling, don't forget to email support@extraboldsales.com, SUPPORT, support@extraboldsales.com. I'd love to give you my client-generated list of all of the wonderful things that sales is for people, what sales means to people. It's a great list that you can use for your priming to get in a good state of mind to do your outreach. Now I'm going to talk about the second foundation. Okay, the second foundation that maybe, what would this be called? I don't know enough about construction. Maybe it's called the subfloor. The subfloor is going to be personal responsibility. Taking personal responsibility for your day, taking personal responsibility for how you feel, how you interpret your emotions, how you notice how you're doing. Taking responsibility for your preparation, for the research for your call, for showing up on time, for running your schedule in a responsible way, for taking care of your body so that you get enough rest and you eat well enough that you don't feel terrible and show up with no energy later in the day for your prospects. People think so many of their problems are about lack of sales tools. But really, a lot of their challenges are actually about what they believe is possible, what they're believing about sales, and it's about deflecting responsibility to other people. Well, I don't have this list, or this invitation isn't ready for marketing, or XYZ happened to me. If you knew my story growing up, hey, there are people who have really hard stuff, really difficult stuff that they've had to come out of. And some people don't have good support inside their companies. I know that. But what you can control is you. And taking responsibility for doing the revenue generating activities and being organized and creating goals, that is in your abilities. That's in your abilities. I love to help people think through these things. If you're interested in doing that in community with other people, please join my Come and Go coaching. It's called Come and Go because you just pay a month at a time and you do it for as long as it makes sense. Love to have you visit that if that sounds interesting to you. Some of these concepts are also in my book, How Good Humans Sell. So don't forget to check out a lot of resources that you can find when you follow me online. And don't forget that awesome priming sheet, which you can get at support@extraboldsales.com also. Talk to you soon.